Ladies and gentlemen, they bet big, talk bold, and bring energy every time. One's known as $1 Million Marco, the other is Tony Sharp, and together, they're the mind meld behind All In Sports. Please welcome Marco Piemonte and Anthony D'Amato.
I guess.
Uh-oh, we got to turn that mic up. I can barely hear you. It's not on yet?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you good now.
Now you hear me. Now you hear me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Do you think that all the things you've done in your life have affected your hearing at all?
What?
All the
What's that? What's that? What'd you say?
Do you think all the fight? I didn't know he was trying to fight me for talking about his hearing.
No,
there.
most of the time. So you guys see the cauliflower here?
Yeah, of course.
It's all jacked up. A lot of times people, it's my favorite joke of all time. People be like, "Hey, does it hurt?" No, it doesn't hurt anymore. But can you hear out of it? I'm like, what? Huh?
You got me right away, too. I'm like, oh,
no.
Shit, it's really bad.
Yeah. No, it's not bad. Actually, I don't know because I've had them since I was 20, 19.
So you wrestled in high school, I assume.
High school and college.
How were you? Were you actually a good wrestler in high school? Were you one of the best or no?
No. I was not a blue chip recruit. I did not get recruited anywhere. So I walked on to the University of Missouri and then ended up becoming a 4-time national qualifier.
That's inspiration for kids that aren't making their teams or being the best. You don't have to be the best in high school to end up making it.
No, 100%. And one thing I would always say is it's not that people don't do the right things, it's that they don't do the right things for long enough.
I like that.
And especially in today's society, we see everybody else getting rich and famous and getting their 15 minutes of fame, and people think it's overnight, but a lot of times you just have to be there longer than everybody else is. So I wasn't a great wrestler in high school, walked on at Mizzou, had a 50-50 record, and then ended up becoming an All-American, and then now, world champion in fighting. Looking
back, do you think that there's a certain point where you're like, oh, this is becoming real? This is actually going to happen?
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate. I wrestled with Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. So Tyron Woodley ended up becoming a UFC champion. Ben Askren ended up becoming a Bellator champion, fought in the UFC, won champion. Right about my junior year, I finally realized, wait a second, I've been doing everything right, working harder than everyone else. I'm a team captain. I'm ranked in the country now. And that's when kind of everything clicked. Still sabotaged myself my junior year at Nationals, and then became an All-American in 2009, my senior year.
That's beautiful.
I wanted to ask you a lot about mindset. I know in the start of your career, 2020, you're basically a fill-in for a major fight. Kind of talk about what goes into that in terms of, hey, I don't know if I'm going to fight some of the biggest guys in the world tonight. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Obviously, the preparation was there, but for you to start your career and under that realm says a lot about you. Yeah, well, so I had been fighting in Bellator outside of the UFC for a very long time. So I was the guy kind of grinding in the shadows for like a decade, and then I finally became an overnight success and a big name when I signed with the UFC in 2020. But I had already gone through tons of ups and downs, 20-something fights, wins, losses, win world championships, lost world championships. So I was like a really good, seasoned veteran by the time I signed with the UFC. So I knew I was going to come into the UFC, and I sat in the office with Dana and Hunter, and I just said, hey, I want to come into this organization. I want to be a good thing for your organization and fight the top guys right away. So I came in as the backup for the world title fight, then fought number 5, number 2, number 3.
My God.
Just fought the murderer's row of everybody. Picked up a couple scars, couple wins, couple losses, but people won't always remember the performances of the wins and losses, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Is there a certain mindset you need with your preparation, with the food, and like surrounding yourself with people that want you to succeed and not people that just want to hang out with you because you are one of the best, right? Like, how do you balance that? Yeah. Hey, do you guys ever realize or start to understand that people with nothing to do, they want to do it with you, right? So you got people out there, you got your friends who ain't really doing nothing, you got your family members that ain't really doing nothing. They're kind of just, they're either the wind in your sails or they're the anchor holding you back, right? So not to say that I'm better than anybody else, but I did separate myself from anybody who didn't have the same goals as I did. I love that. Now, you didn't need to do it in mixed martial arts or wrestling, but if I wanted you to try to be the best student, the best community leader, the best father, the best husband, the best friend, the best human being, and I've made my life and living off of surrounding myself with the best people possible. And then
doing the small little disciplines with enthusiasm every day that nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
Because everybody talks about hard work and the hours put in and the 10,000 hours, but really it's about showing up every single day. Yeah. It's not about doing 1,000 reps in one day. It's about doing 1 rep over 1,000 days.
Every day,
right?
come and bringing the same
day.
energy. Yeah,
yes.
I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this. When you're going out there and you're trying to navigate, I got to make money, but I've got to be a fighter too. Early on, what were you doing to supplement that money? Like, how are you balancing? I'm going to be the best, but right now, I need to make money. Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, my first fight, I lost money. I got paid $500 after I paid for my own hotel, my own travel, and then paid out managers and all that stuff. I lost like $27. So I wasn't making any money. I actually transitioned out of the sport of wrestling. I coached 1 year at Mizzou, so I got paid a little bit of money, nothing to write home about, but enough to pay rent. And then I just started winning fight after fight after fight. And then within 18 months of me fighting, I was stepping inside of the Bellator cage with Eddie Alvarez, the number 3 guy, 5 guy in the world. Won $100,000 in that tournament, bought a house, and then
that's beautiful.
I wasn't poor anymore. So it worked out pretty fast for me, luckily.
So you're married.
I'm married.
See
yes.
the ring? How long
10
have you
years.
been married? 10 years.
10 years, a decade.
She just rode the wave.
She did, yeah. I mean, we didn't get married till I was 28, 29, you know, so we were both, she was chasing her career, I was chasing my career, and we just kind of met in the middle. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't really making much money when we got together, and she had never really seen fighting before we got together.
Jeez.
Had never wanted to be a professional athlete's wife. But eventually I just convinced her to marry me, and then here we are.
Yeah, you know what? You seduced her.
Yeah, I did.
I met him today, and he gave me the eyes. I loved him right away.
I'll tell you what. Well, hey, you got to play the long game. It took me. I got a really long story that I basically knew about this girl for 7 years, emailed her for 2 years, finally did a coffee date on January 24th of 2013, and I married her in September of 2014 because I knew that I was going to marry her. So,
That long.
I chased her for like 2 or 3 years via email and Facebook message.
That's like your career. You fought, made it.
I ain't taking no for an answer.
I love that.
It might take longer than I want it to, and it's probably going to take y'all a lot longer than you want to reach your goals, but eventually it will work out if you keep going.
You know, people that have fought for a long time, they usually age really bad. You've aged really good. What are you doing? What's the skincare routine?
Hey, actually, well, my wife is in aesthetics, okay? She is in aesthetics, okay? But no, I lotion my face a lot, you know, but not as much as my wife would like me to do. And I've had some bad scars. I mean, my last fight was the worst one. This bad dog opened up big time, my eyebrow, but...
What is your plan post-career? What do you want to do?
I'm praying about it right now, asking for wisdom. I mean, something on a microphone, something in front of the camera, something to take my story, the lessons I've learned, the struggles I've had, the highs and lows that I've had, and then translate that into everyday life.
I feel like legends like you deserve to be in the front of UFC talking. And as much as I love the guys that are out there that maybe never fought before and they've been a face of the UFC, I love them and I'm happy they're there. But guys like you deserve a spot over just the random talent.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think it all boils down to your why. Why do you do it? I mean, I do love fighting. Maybe not as much as you guys think I do, but I do love competing. But I love what it means to fight. I love what it means for that octagon door to close and then just go through a battle, and then what that translates into real life. So, I mean, if I can use my story, write a book, have a podcast, have a show, be in front of the camera, and on a microphone, share my story, and it can inspire people, I'm doing the right thing.
Can you take us through the evolution of the UFC? You know, since you've kind of been in the game, you're in the fight game, then there's obviously the entertainment aspect of it. There's the fan aspect of it. Kind of take us through, you know, from the first time that you kind of stepped foot in the UFC to where the sport itself is at now. How would you say that's kind of evolved?
Yeah, do we have any UFC fans out there? You guys watch fights on
UFC
Saturday
fans,
nights every single
here?
Right? I mean, so my view of the sport is a lot different than other people's, and I am so happy that I had my road. I fought outside of the UFC for 10 years, and I watched, and I waited, and I took notes, and I looked at how the whole sport was moving, evolving, what the UFC has done since 1993, back when it was considered human cockfighting and kind of on the fringe, now into the mainstream, and you really start seeing a lot of guys like myself. I have a college degree. I fight because I want to fight,
Not because I have to.
Not because I have to fight. I could be managing someone's finances and doing real estate and doing all the other things that my degree was, but I wanted to keep on competing. So you're seeing a lot of guys and gals doing it for the love of the sport instead of just this violent outlet that it could be perceived as kind of on TV on Saturday night.
That's a great point. You said you've lived people think you live such a violent life. It sounds like you live the complete opposite at home.
I think I'm actually probably the least confrontational person in this arena, in this whatever conference.
I could honestly tell. I could tell.
I swear, I don't like conflict. I'm not going to run away from what I believe in. I have my morals, my standards. I stand up for what I believe in, and I will fight to the death for my family and those that I love. But ultimately, it's just a sport. I look across the cage, and I'm not trying to kill anybody, but I see 2 arms and 2 legs, a torso, and I see targets, and then I see points to be scored. So
he wants to know why Conor was scared to fight you. I like that question.
Hey, guys. I mean, hey, that story, we've been talking about this story now for a couple years. It was tough. So we did The Ultimate Fighter together. I just don't know if he ever comes back. Obviously, we will fight, maybe. I might be long gone by the time he ever comes back. Who knows?
I would love to see it, but I think homeboy's on a yacht chilling somewhere.
Yeah, and that's what I've always said. People are like, "Hey, do you are you mad at him because of this?" And I'm like, I hold no ill will. I chose to wait. I chose to hang out for a little while and kind of take a little bit of time off, wait for the fight, and a little bit of time off was good for me. And now we're back to the drawing boards.
I've got one last question for you, and it's something that Anthony and I built our following on the sports and the betting combined, right? Because in the world of sports betting, UFC's had that's been a huge piece of the UFC. How are you balancing people and how are you balancing that? There's so many ways to dive into it, but do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's I don't know, I think it brings a lot of viewership, but where does it take you?
Yeah, I mean, if you put money on a fight or a game or whatever, you're obviously a little bit more invested financially, emotionally. Oh, I've had a lot of people tell me I've lost them money. I got a lot of people who dislike me just because they've lost money on me without knowing who I am, even if I entertain them. Even if I entertain them, had a great fight, but I lost or I didn't get the submission or the win in the right way that they wanted to win.
Which is crazy, by the way.
Which is crazy, but I'm not a guy who sports bets at all, and obviously it's illegal for us to bet on fights.
Right,
but even other sports, I don't really bet. So it's a very interesting culture, but I'm here for it, and I know society loves it, people love it, and it ain't going away anytime soon.
You might have a way to make a ton of money when you retire. I think you could bet on UFC, right?
Yeah, well, I guess once I retire, I could, yeah.
It'd be funny because you're like, I know that guy's a bum, and I'm going to make a ton of money.
Yeah, no, it's actually really hard because some other people will ask me, hey, I'm going to put money on the fight tonight. Who should I bet on? I'm like, dude, even if the beautiful thing, and this is probably why a lot of you guys are MMA fans, it doesn't matter if you're 1,000-to-1 underdog or 1,000-to-1 favorite. Anybody can be beaten on any given night. And not that it's better than any other sport that is represented here, but it is unique in that fashion, right? If it's the number 1 baseball team in the world versus the worst baseball team in the world,
there's a chance.
There's a 1,000,000% chance that usually the best baseball team is going to win compared to fighting.
But there's a chance.
But there's a chance. But in fighting, we have all of this training, and it's just us, and we're locked into an octagon. We got a referee, we got judges. It's a very beautiful, unique sport, and I think that's why the whole world has embraced it.
One punch, one time. We really appreciate you coming on with us. I might fly down to Nashville. I want to know what your training's like. Maybe you could put us through it.
I'll put you guys through a little workout.
Yeah, that would be a cool episode.
Nashville. I got a gym in Nashville, two gyms in Nashville.
We want you to beat our ass, and we want to experience some fighting time.
We got that. You better get a mouthpiece. we get you guys a mouthpiece.
I'm not ready. My teeth are real.
Cup. Yeah, just in case you get a little nut shot. It's all right.
You're the man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much,
man. For our next guest, we're going to bring out someone I think is an incredible journey and story. We're not going to talk about it tonight. Tonight is all about football, fun, and lifestyle. Here we go, Damar Hamlin. Let's welcome on. If I was ever tall, dark, and handsome, I'd want to look just like him. Every day. Let's do this. Let's have some fun.
What's up, fellas?
Welcome.
Indeed. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having
Listen,
me.
before we start, I got to say the Bills fans are unbelievable. They are running this event right now.
101.
The Bills fans are the best fans in the NFL.
There we
Do you
go.
guys think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm a Bears fan. We suck right now. We got to step it up.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Y'all just got some good coaches. Y'all got some good pieces over the last 2 years. I won't be surprised if
What's
y'all
your
make a good
prediction
jump.
for the Chicago Bears this year?
Above 500.
Take it easy.
Above 500?
Wait. What are all the teams in y'all division?
That's the NFC North. That's the Lions. That's
Vikings.
the Packers. And that's the we got the Bears and we got the Vikings. It's a great division.
I want to root for y'all so bad, bro.
Man, I can see it in his face. He thinks we're trash. I get it.
Hey, he heard the division. He's like, I want to root for
He's
you
like,
guys.
best of luck, cuz. Best of luck.
Twice a year with them? All right.
Hey, I want to talk to you about an underdog story in itself.
For sure.
6th-round pick in yourself, man. What could you say for all the athletes out there, guys that are, flying under the radar, trying to make a name for themselves? What is the kind of approach that you took to your game from that circumstance?
Always believing in myself. Like, I think that's key. I think that's most important. Always believing in myself and knowing who you are before the world recognizes it. Even before, like, the draft, like, I knew what I was capable of. I knew I knew who I was before I got the recognition for it. So, going 6th round, I expected to go earlier, but, God works in mysterious ways. And, I had the belief in myself to keep going and to know that I can accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. I didn't allow what everybody else was saying to write my story. So
Did you have a lot of people you feel like trying to pull you down and not make you, like, almost bring you back?
No, I feel like I had a lot of people rooting for me. It's just, my skill set or whatever, my talent just wasn't recognizable through the NFL draft. That's more like shirt and T-shirt competition and,
I get that.
and things like that. But, I knew I was capable, and I knew, the things that I bring to a team is something that is willing to last in the league.
I love that. When did you know, growing up playing football, that you're like, hey, I'm made to play defense. I'm not an offense guy. When did you know that transition? Because you're built like a receiver.
So like 10, 11, 12 years old, I don't remember exactly what it was. I had like a All-American youth camp in like Myrtle Beach. And my dad wanted me to play offense. He kept like trying to tell me to play offense. But I just kept naturally going into the defensive lines. And I think right then and there, it was just settled that I want to play defense, and which is crazy because, defense, you don't really get to score a lot of touchdowns. You don't
get the bright lights.
I know.
Maybe you do.
But I think it's an art about, trying to stop an offense, them trying to figure out what they're trying to do and stopping them from what they're trying to do when they already have their plan. Defense, we're just reacting to whatever they do. So I really enjoy that process of, shutting somebody down.
I love that. I love that a lot. Let me ask you this. When you're preparing for the NFL season, how much of a break do you give yourself in between each season? Like, where's your head with that? Like, I feel like your guys' body takes such a beating. Like,
For
it's
sure.
nonstop, 18 weeks. Then you got playoffs. Where do you go with your body? How are you taking care of it?
So, the process of, like, physically taking care of your body, I think you don't get a break from that. You break from that whenever you decide to quit playing football and do whatever you do with your life. But as long as you're competing as an athlete, you got to be either rest, recovery, or training mode. You know what I mean? And during the season, it's training. Some blocks of off season is training. But also, like, a 2-week gap after the season, I allow myself to rest. And then from there, it's just recovery. I'm working out, I'm exercising the things that I might have injured during the season and things like that. But, as long as I continue to play, as far as taking care of my body, that's day to day. But, mentally, you have to allow yourself to take a break and to reset. But, one thing our coaches always say is, it's not time off, it's just time away. So, as a pro, you take that time away and make sure you're still doing the things that you need to do to have a good career.
Go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, so the other thing I want to talk to you about, a lot of people talk about football constantly, right? But I see all the things you do off the field, the Chasing M's Foundation, the George Halas Award. Shout out to you for the George Halas Award. That's a huge honor. Explain to the people what it means to do a lot of good deeds off the field and kind of how that transitions and what you do day to day as a person.
Man, I appreciate that, first and foremost, and I appreciate you noticing, like, all the things that I do off the field. But you know, how I look at things is, you know, giving back was always my way that I wanted to receive my blessings. You know, I wanted to give to others to receive blessings. And in the process of when it wasn't my time, I was always clapping for others. I was always giving others their praise. I was always, you know, celebrating everybody else. So I feel like in a way that being like that, I was able to receive everything that came my way. And, you know, I naturally like have a giving back bone in my body from my parents. They live their life full of service. So so naturally, you know, I'm bound to give back to the community. And I also think, you know, you live a life to reach a point of success. Like, we all want to reach success, and like, what we gonna do with it? We all ain't gonna be here forever. So, you know, we got to make the world a better place than we found it. That's how I kind of see it.
I think sometimes people think like, oh wow, he's a professional athlete. They don't humanize the side of it. Like, there's valleys. Like, if you screw up and you lose the game, you've got fans sending you messages. You've got people wishing you ill will. It's hard because you can't react.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. You can't react, and but that just comes with the territory. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good things that come with, you know, being in the space that we're in. And I think once you keep that perspective, you're able to minimize how much like those small things mean. But, you know, people don't humanize us as athletes. And, you know, through my situation, I hope people, you know, got to see that, you know, we are human. We are human, and, you know, we live a normal life as well. We just chose this as our career path, just like everybody else chose whatever they do to make a dollar.
I love that. Now, I want to bring up something really funny for you. Maybe not funny for you, but funny for us. But how much do you hate the Chiefs?
You laughed too hard at that. She laughed a little bit too hard.
She liked it. She was like, yeah.
She must be from Kansas City.
Is somebody a Chiefs fan out here?
Good crowd.
Thank you. We love that.
Good crowd. Nah, but man, you know, as a competitor, obviously, like, you know, you want to get over the hump. But as an athlete, as like a sports just lover, man, you respect greatness and you respect what people are able to do. You know, we go out there and we give it our all every single fucking time. So, you know, like watching the Super Bowl, man, like I was torn between the two because I wanted to see the Eagles win, but I also wanted to, like, you know, be a part of history and like see somebody win 3 Super Bowls in a row.
No.
Because that's hard to do. That's hard to do. I'm saying as a sports fan, I think that's very extremely hard to do. But, you know, it's always competition in between the lines. But, you know, I also respect greatness, and we're going to get over the hump, though.
I've got a great topic for you. I think it's very controversial, but it's safe for you to talk about. I already checked with all the powers that be that I can ask this question. So we know when you're watching an NFL game, everyone on TV sees that the line's there. You're like, 1 yard. Josh Allen, QB sneak, here we go. Tennis can track it. Golf can track it. There's so many sports. NBA can track it. Why doesn't the NFL have that line technology? Do you think they should implement it?
I think it's mandatory that we add that line technology. As we grow the sport, you know what I mean? As we advance it, there's so many new technologies and things that are being a part of our world, like AI being introduced to the world, things like that. We have to be able to have something that takes, like, the human evaluation out of it, because like we just talked about, everybody's humans. Humans make mistakes.
And they're subjective sometimes. Maybe there's a guy on the other team that was talking trash to him, and
that's a reality of the game. That's a part of playing the game within the game, you know, talking to the refs throughout the game, letting them know what's going on, telling them things, like conducting yourself in a way where late in that game, they might be more lenient to give you a call. So that's just a part of being a pro and playing the game within the game.
Being on defense, you're half attorney, half player. You look at the ref, you're like, my buddy's out of control. I saw it. I'm going to handle it. Yeah.
Like, I got him. Like, ref, don't worry about him. I got him. We're going to handle this on the sideline, ref.
So I wanted to ask you, the franchise in itself in Buffalo, a lot of Super Bowl appearances, a lot of AFC Championship appearances. What do you feel must be the identity for this year's team to finally get over the hump, to get into the Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl? What must happen?
You know, I appreciate that question. And it takes me back to, you know, our last game of the season last year. And, you know, just the players sitting on the bus, and, you know, we're just thinking, and we just really, like, thought to ourselves, like, we don't have to reinvent who we are to get over the hump. You know, we don't have to reinvent who we are. We just have to be able to get it done when it's time to get it done. And, you know, that's the mission, that's the goal. And, you know, we spent the last couple weeks, seeing who we are as a team, starting to build that identity, getting to know our new teammates, things like that. And, I'm super excited as far as training camp to be able to, mold this 2025 team to be able to, get the job done and complete our mission.
Do you have a rookie that came in that you're like, oh my God, he's legit, like legit? Is there somebody that sticks out right now? Have you not been able to see it yet?
This year they really like tightened down on OTAs and as far as like
I saw that.
how much you can do. But I'm super excited for a few of the young guys up front on the D-line. I'm excited to see what they can do. There was a lot of potential like playmakers and some difference makers up there. So
Those guys make your job easier too.
they make my job a walk in the park. Y'all seen that Super Bowl?
7 seconds, you're dead on the. When they're out there, like they gotta get to the quarterback.
Right, yeah. You get to that quarterback, I can sit back there and talk to the fans while the game's going on.
Who's the best receiver in the NFL? Please speak honestly.
I can give you like a top couple.
Give me a top 3. I'm really curious. He lines up against the best in the world.
I know JJ's on the list. You got to have JJ.
I give JJ number 1. I give JJ special. You know what I'm saying? JJ's a special talent. I put JJ and Jamar Chase somewhere special. You gotta always respect Tyreek Hill. Stephon Diggs, man, I just watched him over the last years, and as my teammate, just his work ethic and approach to the game and how he shows up, like he really shaped me as a pro as far as what I want to accomplish in this league and how I need to approach my day-to-day. So, I always respect his game for sure. And let me give you one more. Man, George Pickens is one of my favorite athletes. I'm excited to see what he do in Dallas, finally getting like a fresh start and having like an elite quarterback.
In his defense, you just said it. He hasn't had anybody to throw him the ball.
He hasn't had, I consider Kenny Pickett an elite quarterback. He just was there young, still learning in the game, but I feel like George Pickens would, a veteran, someone that's really considered in the elite quarterback conversation, also with another number 1 beside him. You can't
That's the other part.
You can't do too much doubling him when you got CD across the field.
No bracket coverage, everything. You're man on man.
Yeah, so GP definitely a special talent. And we got some guys I'm excited to see, man. We just picked up Elijah Moore. He looks special. He looks super special.
He is. He's quick.
I'm excited to see him play with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen finally got some weapons. I'm excited.
He always had weapons.
I don't know, man. Jordan Poyer, we love him. He told us some stuff.
I want to ask you, though, about Josh Allen.
I know everything going on.
I want to ask you in terms of everybody knows Josh Allen could sling it. He could run with the rock. He could do it all. But what does it mean to have a guy like Josh Allen in the locker room, as a leader, the charisma, the day-to-day activity?
It means everything, man. Like, he's a guy he's going to make sure everybody in the room is comfortable. Like, that's his personality. And, like, he keeps it light. Like, he takes the biggest moments and keeps them light. Like, our head coach, he's a stickler on the things that he stands on. But having a quarterback like Josh, he always brings a smile to his face, and he always makes him lighten up the mood as well. So, I'm blessed to be able to, see Josh when I came in as a rookie to where he is now. And I've just seen his game continue to grow and grow and grow, and just practice reps against him, OTA reps against him. I've been able to grow as a safety in the league, being able to have an elite quarterback on my team, just being able to see how he wants to manipulate the post safety, or, where he's going to go when it's 2 high versus 1 high. And, I'm able to pick a Hall of Fame quarterback's brain every single day. So, I'm blessed to have Josh on our team.
You know what's crazy? I don't think people realize how big of a guy he is.
He's humongous. He's huge.
He's got the neck the size of an F-150.
He's huge.
The guys, remember we saw him?
He is unbelievably built, especially in terms of quarterback. And honestly, I don't think there's linebackers out there that feel comfortable tackling him.
No, he's Derrick Henry, our quarterback. Like, he's literally that big.
I agree with that.
And Josh is such a poise, such a sweet gentleman. And, it's one thing about Josh, he's quiet on game day. And he comes back in after warm-ups, and, he gets everything out of his system, and he flips this switch and just turns into a complete savage, a complete savage for 2 hours, and he's back to being Josh. We're after the game, after a win, he just probably gave you 7 touchdowns, 4 different ways, throwing, passing, running, and skipping.
I've got a very bold question to ask you, and it might cause your teammates to be a little mad at you, but who's the best athlete on the team?
Keon Coleman.
Really?
Yeah, I just had my yeah, for sure. I just had my charity basketball game last week, and Keon came and scored 60 points.
60?
He scored 60 points, like dunks, layups.
Do we have footage
threes.
of this?
Yeah, we got footage
we gotta
of that.
see the footage.
He's like
He went
6'4"?
viral. He went viral. Overtime posted it. Like, it literally went viral. I got to show you it.
Wow, I got to see that.
Like,
He's like 6'4", right?
yeah, he's about 6'4". And I've never seen an NFL player with the basketball skill set that he has. But, he played his first year of college. He played basketball and football at Michigan State for Tom Izzo. So, like, that's not no
a little bit of a trick question when I asked you because I didn't know if you knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He proved it. He proved it last weekend.
That's crazy.
So I wanted to ask you, you take the helmet off, you put the pads away. What's in store for Damar Hamlin in the future? I know you're giving back a lot to the community like we talked about, but, what are some of the things that you plan to do when the game of football is over?
Yeah, man, I'll forever be, through my foundation, giving back to the community. But, I've been here for the past 2 days with the Fanatics Emergence program, and I'm learning. I've always been hungry for more knowledge and just searching to grow as a businessman and as an entrepreneur. And I'm asking people like Rich Kleiman questions and Michael Rubin questions. And I asked Rich a specific question. I said, Rich, if you are in my shoes right now, what would be some of the things that you would be urgent about? And, he took a second and paused and to answer the question. And, he told me just to continue being Damar Hamlin, like continue to show up for the things that you care about, and everything else will take care of itself. And that simple answer, like it was so simple, but it was so powerful to me. And I have so many passions that I want to pursue. It will all take time to get them in place and to like execute them how I want. But I got them on my vision board. I see them. And I'll just continue to show up for who I want to be as a person. So that's my plan.
That's beautiful. I think we got to end it right there because that was so special. You've got some people that want an autograph from you if you don't mind.
Let's go, man. Let's get it.